Good morning, students. Today I am going to discuss about the software engineering. So in computer science and engineering, software engineering is one of the important subject because after completion of the graduation course, what the student will do is he will become a software engineer. So what he needs to do in a software company, how he should deal his colleagues, or how he should produce a software. Everything regarding the software job is going to do after the completion of undergraduation. Okay, this software engineering will be helpful. So it is one of the important subject of computer science and engineering. So today I am going to give you a brief introduction about this software engineering. So in this software engineering, today we are going to discuss about the topics mentioned here. First of all, we are going to learn about what is a software. Second topic is what are the various characteristics of a software, and what is software classification. Classification in the sense, what are the types of software we are having. So these are the three topics we are going to discuss today. The definition of a software, various characteristics of a software, and the various types of the software. Classification in the sense, types. Okay. So we will see these topics in detail in the coming slides. So what is a software? So we all know that there is a common definition for the software, which is defined as a collection of computer programs that are executed together with the data to provide desired outcomes. But this is a common definition we all know. But there is another definition you need to know regarding the software. So according to IEEE, software has a different meaning, extension to the definition of what all we know. So according to IEEE standards, there is a definition for software engineering. Okay, so software engineering is not only a collection of programs, it is having a different meaning, extension to that. So we are going to see that exact definition of software according to IEEE. Okay, so the definition for software according to IEEE is given in the next slide. So I am moving on to the next slide. So here you can see the IEEE definition of a software. Okay, so what is a software? Software is a collection of computer programs together with the data, procedure, rules, and associated documentation. So by this statement here, we are having, we can conclude that we can come to some understanding that software is not only a collection of programs, but it is also having data, procedures, rules, and documentation. Okay, so what do you mean by a data? It provides useful information in some form. It may be simple or complex data, but what data will provide means it give you the useful information. What is a procedure? It has some certain procedure for its execution and operation. That means for executing of any program, it has some procedure. Okay. What do you mean by rules? To execute that software, we need to have some rules. Okay. So that is what rules. So finally, what is a documentation? The documentation of a program is also necessary to guide the operating procedure of the software. For any software we are producing, we need to prepare a manual. We need to prepare a manual for the clients or the end users to understand how to use that particular software. Because by scratch, no one knows how to execute the software, how to run the software. So we need to give a documentation or a manual how to run a particular type of a software. So software is not only a collection of programs. Okay, as mentioned here, it is a collection of programs together with the data, procedures, rules, and documentation. So if you want to know the definition of the software, you need to know about all these items. So now we are having a clear-cut definition for software, which is it is a collection of programs together with the data, procedure, rules, and associated documentation, which operate in a specified environment. That means it should run in some specified environment with some certain constraints to provide the desired outcomes. Okay. Now we can say that data is useful to give information to get the desired outcome, which is output. So this is what a definition of a software given by IEEE. Okay. So that is what the definition of software engineering. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. So here we can see what is a software and who is a developer, who is a customer, and who is the end user. We can see clearly here. So, for example, I am taking a national train enquiry system application. So you can see that app name, National Train Enquiry System. You can see there are various modules here. How to spot your train, what is the live station, train schedule, train between stations, cancel trains, reschedule trains. Everything is mentioned here. So this is an application which is developed by the developer Chris, Center for Railway Information Service. And who is the customer means Indian Railways. So Indian Railways have given an offer for developer to develop this type of application, which should be accessed by the end users, passengers. So with this slide, I'm going to give you a small understanding who is a developer, who is a customer, and who is a end user. Okay, here the developer is Center for Railway Information Service. Here the customer is Indian Railways. On the request of Indian Railways only, the Chris has prepared an application for National Train Enquiry System. And finally, who are going to use it is ourselves, which are end users. So this is what about the software, who is a developer, who is a customer, and who is a end user. Okay, next. Now we are going to discuss about characteristics of a software. So what is a software we have learned already? We have discussed about the definition of a software. Now we are going to see about the characteristics of a software. What is a software and what are its various characteristics? It is also very much important. We can see here, first one is software has logical properties rather than physical. Software is produced in an engineering manner rather than in a classical sense. Software is a mobile to change. Software becomes obsolete but does not wear out or die. Software has a certain operating system, end user, and customer. Software development is a labor-intensive task. So these are all the various characteristics we are having, and we will see each one of them in detail in the coming slides. So you can see here, first one is software has logical properties rather than physical. That means we can only feel the software, but we cannot have its physical presence. So it is an intangible product. It has no physical properties. It has no shape, no volume, no color, and no order. It logically consists of several programs. Okay. So via a logical interfaces. So it has only the logical properties, not the physical properties. Second one, software is produced in an engineering manner rather than classical sense. So in software engineering, there are some steps you need to follow, such as feasibility study, analysis, design, coding, testing, and deployment. So you need to follow these steps. So these steps is called engineering steps. So you need to produce the software by running these engineering steps rather than a classical way, like how every product like a fridge or AC is being produced. It's not like any hardware product. It should be produced in an engineering manner. You need to follow all these steps mentioned here. That's the reason why software is produced in an engineering manner rather than a classical sense. Okay. The next one is a software is a mobile to change. So that means software means, what is software? It's a collection of programs. If you update the program, the software will be updated. So that is what software is a mobile to change. It's too much flexible product that can easily be changed. These changes may arise due to change in requirements of the customer and technological advancements. The customer requirements are being changed day to day, and the technological advancements have been increased. So based on these activities, we can say that software is a mobile to change. Okay. We are moving on to the next slide to see the remaining characteristics. So next one is software becomes obsolete but does not wear out or die. So what means the meaning is that software will never die. It becomes out of date. So for example, if you take any old softwares, it's no more work now. It will not work now. But if you want to work the softwares again, you need to update it. You need to update it. That means the software does not die, just it became out of date. Okay, like we are having expiry date to our medicines or for any product like that. It has an expiry date, but it will not die. Okay, the next one, it has a certain operating system, environment, end user, and a customer. I already told you earlier when I told you in a national train inquiry system example, it should have some certain operating system, some environment, some end user operating system, maybe Windows or Linux or Unix, and it should have some environment to run it. And mainly it should have some end user or customer to run that particular software. So that is the fifth characteristic. And finally, sixth one is a labor intensive task. I already told you there are various steps: analysis, design, coding, testing, deployment, and maintenance. For every step to perform, you need to require a labor. So software development is not a small task. It's a labor intensive task. More and more labor will be involved here. More and more labor will be involved here. Okay. More and more labor will be involved. So it is a labor intensive task. Okay. I'm moving on to the next slide. So software classification. What is meant by software? I already told you, software is a collection of programs together with data, procedure, rules, and associated documentation. After that, we have seen the various characteristics of software. Software has logical properties rather than physical properties. It is produced in an engineering manner rather than classical sense. It is a mobile to change. Okay, it becomes obsolete but does not wear out or die. It is a labor-intensive task. It runs in a certain operating system or environment. So now we have seen two topics. What is the software as well as the characteristics of software. Now we are going to see the classification. What do you mean by classification? Classification means types of the software. So we will see the types of the software here. So the software is of two types, generic or customized. Generic means it is used for general purpose, such as word processors, calculators, database software, etc. Whereas customized software products are developed to satisfy the needs of a particular customer in an organization. For example, if you see example here, order processing software. For example, if you see go to Reliance Supermart or some DMart, there will be order processing software. So it is meant for only for that company, for that organization purpose. It is not for general purpose. For example, patient diagnosis software is how to detect the disease of a patient. That software is also not useful for general purpose. It is a customized software prepared for any particular organization. Okay, whereas general purpose are used for generic software are used for general purpose, regardless the type of business. Everyone can use it. Mainly the generic softwares are for the public purpose and customized softwares are particular for the organizational purpose. Okay. So I am going on to the next slide. We can see the classification types of software in the next slide with the neat diagram. So you can see here, there are various types of software. I already told you it is of two types. What are those two? Generic and customized. In this generic, we are having system software, application software, and programming software. Whereas customized software is divided into AI, engineering or scientific software, web software, and product line software. So these four comes under the customized software, which will be prepared upon the request of the particular organization. These three are general purpose software, which can be used by the public. Okay, these are the two types of softwares we are having available as far as the classification types of software is concerned. Okay, these are the two types of software we are having. Okay, so by this we are concluding our topics today. We have seen three topics today. The first one is what is a software, what are the characteristics of software, and what are the types of the software. Tomorrow we are going to discuss the remaining topics. Okay. Thank you.